So the Pelicans are 5-5 since the CJ trade, but their offense has been amazing, so I think there's reason to be optimistic. And I think a lot of it is because of stuff like this, where you have defenses forced to defend CJ and Ingram and eventually Valanciunas all at the same time. Ingram just screening for CJ. Off-ball Ingram will be a little bit of a theme here. And yes, they lost this game because Jokic went nuclear, but there were still some good things to take away for them. They've also had actions where Ingram, CJ, and Valanciunas are all involved in it together, as we get Ingram getting a 3 from CJ. But to dive into this one again, so it starts out with the basic Valanciunas CJ screen, because Valanciunas is so good in the post. Teams don't want to switch this action. While all that's happening, we've got Ingram at the elbow, and as Valanciunas is diving, it forces Gordon to have this moment of, well, what do I do? I gotta cover the roll. If Jeff Green chooses to go help out in front of the rim, then Jackson Hayes has a cut to the basket. And then in that time span, that's when Brandon Ingram comes out. And credit to Aaron Gordon, it was still an okay closeout. This Valanciunas Ingram screen action, it's not too complex. It's pretty much just a pull-up jumper against drop coverage. That being said, you'll notice where CJ is placed on this play. It makes it to where if Monte Morris is going to collapse real hard on Ingram here, then CJ is most likely open. Now we get CJ screening for Ingram. Austin Rivers does the most he can on the switch, but he's just not big enough. I feel like this play shows off a couple things, as they trap CJ, and then Ingram is going to get a catch and drive into a foul, as I just screenshotted here. So having Jackson Hayes play with Valanciunas, it's been successful, and it's pretty obvious why. It's because Hayes is a lob threat, so you can never really forget about him, because if you mess up one rotation, he's wide open under the basket. The other thing, as obvious as this is that Valanciunas is good, and he can make something happen if you give him this bit of space around the free throw line. Shout out to Billy Hernangomez for the down screen, followed by the on-ball screen for Ingram. I think this is similar to what we saw from Ingram earlier, where he had a screen from Valanciunas, where CJ gets the screen from Hernangomez, and because of Ingram's placement, it makes it kind of tough for Aaron Gordon to commit real hard to helping off of that, I think this is another play that shows off the value of having Jackson Hayes and Valanciunas together. Because of Jackson Hayes just simply existing here, Jokic has to worry about him when they bring the double, and then you have Valanciunas who's relocating from the three-point line. This play here is the most drastic example I can think of using all three of these guys in the same play, because they're all basically hugging each other. Jokic ends up recovering pretty well to Valanciunas, who still makes the shot anyway, but you can see that they're clearly going in a direction of, we're forcing the defense to defend all three of you guys at the same time. Here's a play just to show you the obvious example of how Jackson Hayes and Valanciunas can work together. Imagine if it was Zion in place of Jackson Hayes there. That could be real scary. Would also like to point out that Brandon Ingram is up to about 5.5 assists a game this season. I feel like it's gone a little under the radar, given just all the talk about Zion, but Ingram just keeps on improving. They've been leaning on CJ as a playmaker a lot as well. He's led them in touches per game since they got him. Also, for this clip, let's appreciate another action where they're all involved. Can we call that a horn set? I mean, usually horns is closer to the free throw line, but it kind of resembles that, but just at the three-point line, obviously. Same thing, right? Valanciunas diving, 2 to CJ, Harrison Barnes worried about him. That's Brandon Ingram you got to close out on. Good luck. Also, before I go, Herb Jones had 3 blocks against the Kings, so we have to look at all of them. It is a question, how good can this team be defensively? We love Herb Jones. He can't do everything, but he's definitely going to try. Getting him with the 35th pick is about the most you could ask for out of round 2. And also, just because it wraps up the video nicely, here's a 3-pointer.